Welcome back, everyone. Our ongoing series, Attention Veterans, where we delve into the issues that veterans are really concerned about, need more information about. And joining me is my co-host, Cheryl Hage-Perez, Executive Director for the Veterans and Community Housing Coalition, or as we like to refer to it, Vet Help.
Right.
Good, welcome back.
Thank
and joining us this week is a guest we've had here many times, and every time I learn something. This is Frank McClement, who is the Executive Director for the Saratoga County Veterans Services Agency. I'm sorry I had to read that, but you want to know something? All of these names and all of these acronyms, I always mess them up, Frank. But the most important thing is to welcome you back, because every time you come in, we learn something, and really appreciate you taking the time.
We appreciate the opportunity to get the message out. And to speak to the names, it is confusing. There's a number of different organizations out there, and it's important for everybody to understand exactly who they're talking to when they're having the conversation.
And we each do something unique.
Boy, that's true. All right, let's start with your organization.
Sure.
Just give us the overview of what the organization stands for, what the mission is.
Sure. We are a county agency. We're the Saratoga County Veteran Service Agency, and our job is to connect veterans and their family members to the benefits and services that they've earned through military service. We are not the VA. We sit on the same side of the table as the veteran and their family member as they're trying to navigate through what can be somewhat of a cumbersome bureaucracy as they're applying for certain benefits or services. It's not rocket science what we do, but it's very important to hit all the right targets, to put it in a military term. If you don't, you're not going to get to the finish line. You're not going to get where you need to be, and that is so often where all of the frustration comes from amongst our veterans and their families when they're trying to access these benefits. There's a lot of things out there for folks, and especially in a time of need, there's a lot of different things that can help them. They just don't know the right buttons to push, and that's where we come in.
Well, you know what caught me, and I'm sure it caught your attention, sit on the same side of the table.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they do, because there's so many services available to our veterans, and close to 18,000 in Saratoga County alone. But number one, they either don't know what services are available to them, and number two, many of them don't have a copy of their discharge papers, their DD-214.
Right.
And Frank, why don't you talk a little bit about...
Well, you know, the DD-214 is the key to veterans' benefits. It's your official military discharge paper, and it gives us all the information that we need to assess whether or not you're eligible for certain benefits and services, dates of service, certain awards, character of discharge. Those are all very important things when making an application. And if a veteran doesn't have their DD-214, they really need to request it. We can assist with that request and facilitate the request.
You know, I just want to jump in for a second. You would think that every veteran would have that. Where am I missing? What am I missing here?
When you get out and all you're thinking about is getting back on the block, if you will. A lot of veterans might have stuffed it in the bottom of a duffel bag. Years and years ago, they didn't really do too good of a job in educating veterans on what they should or shouldn't be doing, you know?
And then in some cases, if a veteran winds up in a homeless situation, they don't have their personal belongings with them.
Oh, right, sure.
So the last thing they think of is, oh, I got to bring my discharge papers with me.
Right. You know, and a lot of them operate under this assumption that somebody can just punch their name in and pull them up. And while I will say that the Department of Defense, the Department of Veterans Affairs has gotten better with databases and those types of things, for veterans who served 40, 50 years ago, that doesn't exist. So what do they need to prove their military service? They need their DD-214.
Sure,
so
got it.
Certainly is an important thing.
Now, we've got close to 18,000 veterans right here in our county. That's a big number.
It is.
You're dealing with veterans every day, as Cheryl is. What would you say are the maybe top 2 or 3 things that veterans who would be watching this, or families of veterans who would be watching this, would you highlight as the major issues you deal with on a daily basis?
Well, I think for us in having an aging population that we do, you know, healthcare. If you haven't looked at the VA healthcare system, if nothing else but a backup plan, I think it's very important. Some veterans are still out there struggling without solid healthcare. And so to put that in perspective, to take a look at what the VA offers and not just kind of, discount it, I think is important. As they age, the healthcare system is quite comprehensive, so there are certain things that the VA healthcare system will provide that their private insurance might not. Home modifications,
Yes.
grab bars in the bathroom, ramps on the
Yes,
house,
right, sure. Think about
wheelchairs,
that.
walkers, things of that nature that are very expensive. Well, the VA can provide all of those things. And then a number of different things: counseling, substance abuse treatment.
They have special services for female veterans at our VA, which
Yeah.
has benefited so many females
Absolutely.
I'm sure you see this also, right?
all the time.
Yeah, I bet.
The veterans that come to us haven't had health care in a long time. And our the first step we take is to make sure we, like Frank, prioritize getting them in for proper health care.
Give me another one.
Monetary assistance. A lot of people
sure.
don't realize that there are monetary benefits available to veterans and their family members, and they're entitled to them. When I separated from service, they talked about disability compensation, and I thought, well, that's not me, because I didn't really have any serious debilitating injuries. I wasn't leaving the military in a wheelchair or
An amputee.
or something
Right.
like that. So, to me, that didn't even register in my mind. But, if you have injuries that are related to your military service that
Invisible.
currently bother you today, if there's invisible things
Right, sure.
such as mental health conditions or whatever
PTSD,
the case may
addiction.
be, we can certainly take a look at those and file for what's called service-connected disability compensation. There are also other benefits, monetary benefit program for wartime veterans called a VA pension. And oftentimes we see individuals who are homeless, who have no income, can't access Social Security, but are too disabled to work. We can look at accessing a solid income for them through that program. But also people who are aging. I mentioned the aging population. That same benefit comes with additional stipends if they're medically housebound or in need of aid and attendance. And a lot of people refer to it as the VA's aid and attendance program. It can help them pay for high costs of home care, assisted living, that type of a thing.
And the key is to keep them out of a nursing home situation. So as Frank pointed out, they'll pay for housing adaptations, they'll pay for home health care to come in, so the veteran doesn't have to be placed in a nursing home.
Oh, and stay at home, right? You realize how important that is for your own
Some-
personal dignity.
right.
Think about any of us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Right.
I don't think people quite really recognize just, the economic impact that these benefits can have on an area. In our county alone, the VA spent last fiscal year over $30 million in direct cash payments to veterans and their family members.
I want to talk about housing.
I want
Right.
to talk about housing too, but the first thing I'd like to talk about, we have the transitional housing programs,
Right.
and we see inherent in our programs is the connection that the veterans make to each other, and the peer support that they give each other is instrumental in their being able to regain their skill set and move to independent living. Frank has taken that peer support a step further and developed a peer-to-peer program. And I would like you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we are fortunate. We are in receipt of grant funding through the New York State Senate, the PFC Joseph Dwyer Peer Support Program. And with the help of our program coordinator, who is a big part of our program, Amy Hughes, and the Board of Supervisors actually accepting the state funds and deciding to go forward and create this program, we were able to build a program from ground up where veterans can come and give back. Veterans who have been there, done that, come out on the other side of things with some success in his or her life, and they want to give back and work with other veterans who are having reacclimation challenges
Struggling a little bit.
because of whatever case, maybe because of PTSD or a situation in the military, maybe just because of some bad choices they made in their life along the way and kind of lost their way.
True.
And they're just able to connect. Veterans relate to one another.
Yes. The brotherhood and sisterhood.
In a way that
right.
is kind of uncanny, and so if we provide a venue, if you will, for those individuals to come together and support one another, it connects them to other resources, and it's really an extra support structure, a new kind of veteran community, if you will, and we've been pretty fortunate in having some success. And every
A
bit of
lot
the
of success.
a lot of success. I will say that,
Yes.
and you know what? Where the success comes from, it comes from the veterans themselves. It
The
has nothing to do
volunteers.
really with
Yes,
me.
right, sure.
It has everything
it
to do
does,
with the
right.
participant. It
Well,
has
you
every.
provide the forum. They not only do they have community events where the veteran and their peer match participate, but these veteran volunteers also do one-on-one activities. And what I find for the veterans in my program that participate in the peer-to-peer, for many, it's the only chance that they have to get out one-on-one with a peer, not in a clinical situation, and they can talk freely. They learn different opportunities in the community for social events or dining events, and an alternate way to socialize without the use of drug and alcohol. And that's
in a
it's
healthy
crucial.
environment.
In a healthy
Well, you know,
environment.
again, they build a trust over the years, and the unique set of circumstances that our veterans face. There is that brotherhood, sisterhood, as you said.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, we hear about it every week when we have this
Every
conversation.
week.
Isn't it something?
It's a family.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
It's
without
a
a doubt.
family, yes.
But really, hats off to you. I remember you telling me about
Yeah, I
this peer-to-peer
appreciate it.
program the last time. Does this dovetail into the favor program? Because we have an event coming up. I want to talk about the event.
Yeah.
But the funds that you're raising at the event are dovetailing these programs, correct?
In a way, I mean,
Yeah.
these are all county initiatives. I will say Saratoga County is pretty unique in that we've got several unique initiatives other than the core focus of what a veteran service agency does, because there's one of us in every county. But we've kind of taken it to the next level in some of the things that we're doing, and our Saratoga County clerk does have the favor program. We talked a lot about DD 214s and the importance of maintaining a copy of your DD 214. Well, every county clerk in the state can record a DD 214, and in Saratoga County, our county
that's
clerk has created a program where they offer a vehicle for the local business community to offer discounts and incentives to say thank you to those veterans. So a veteran will bring their DD 214 to the county clerk's office. They'll record it free of charge, and then they'll also take the veteran's picture and issue an ID card that they can take to local
Right.
businesses. There's over 350 businesses on the list, and you can get everything, you know, on a discount on a cup of coffee to a discount on legal services.
Where do you find that list?
Right at the county clerk's
Yeah,
office.
that's what I thought.
They'll
On the
provide
website?
it, and it's available on their website as well.
Now we've got the 5K coming
Yep.
up, right? Tell me about it.
Well, another unique program we have is the Veterans Trust Fund. The Board of Supervisors created it back in 2011, and it is a fund that 100% of the money goes directly to veterans and to support veterans in the county. And we take donations, and then we make disbursements to individual veterans who are experiencing some type of an emergency where no other resource or benefit fits. So, you know, we do a lot of car repairs. Veteran finds himself unemployed and they're having car trouble. We're able to work with them to maybe help them get their car back on the road. We've supported education programs for veterans and help them buy the materials that they need for a vocational educational program if they don't have a VA benefit for that. So the 5K run is to support the Veterans Trust Fund, and we're holding that Saturday, November 3rd. It's at 4 Hardy Park in Schuylerville.
Oh,
It's
we've
our
had it there
7th
before.
annual.
That's
We've
right.
talked about it with you guys
Sure.
before.
Yeah.
We're working with the gentleman from FC4 Inc., so we're real excited to work with them, work with the chamber. We've got a number of different organizations involved to include the peer-to-peer program. We've got active duty Navy sailors, you name it. Everybody's coming together at this
support.
event. It's been a great event. We've got a presenting sponsor coming back again this year, Momentum Performance Materials, so we're real excited about their
great.
partnership. And it's a great event. We're real excited about it, and we really look forward to this event every year.
You know,
and you wanted to talk about housing. I just want to make a point,
Yeah, sure.
because the proceeds from that event go into this Veterans Trust Fund, which, as Frank pointed out, assists veterans with car repairs and education. All of those interventions help prevent a homeless situation, because
Right.
many times our veterans, their car breaks down. They have no way to get to work. They lose their job.
right,
They
I
can't
know.
pay their
What a
rent.
vicious
They
cycle.
become homeless. And then what do? So a lot of the steps that program takes is a preventative measure to help veterans prevent a homeless situation.
I've got to, when we were at Guardian House, and I looked at all the things that people were donating, Guardian House, if you're, please support the 5K run and help build this trust fund. But, many of us might have items that we would like to donate. And you can also do that too, right? Because there's many ways that people can contribute.
Veterans and Community Housing Coalition, we accept donations of furniture, household items,
That's right.
Dishes, pots and pans, toaster, well, if they're in really good condition. Because when a veteran is ready to transition to independent living, we set up their home.
Yes, got
Because they don't have the finances to do it.
No.
And I will say that we had run out of storage, and Home Depot recently gave us a grant. They're going to build us an 18 by 32 foot garage.
Oh, wow.
2-story, so we can start collecting more donations that our veterans will lose. And again, it's a variety of reasons why people become homeless.
Oh,
but it's
sure.
the steps that the Veterans Trust Fund and our agency can take to prevent that homeless situation in the first place.
Well, it's really something. I talk to a lot of people, and talking to the two of you, you're such advocates for this, and you're so passionate about it. Boy, listening to you talk about it, Frank, every single time I learn something.
Appreciate
I
it.
really do, really admire everything that, really, respect everything that you're doing.
It's an easy job to do when you
It's
care
not a
about
job,
what you're
it's your
doing.
passion.
Yeah, and there you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Beautifully said. By the way, that 5K race again is Saturday, November 3rd, Fort Hardy Park, right in Schuylerville. Can't miss that. And of course, you see a ton of people there.
Yep. Finishright.com. You can register and find out more information. Finishright.com.
Okay, spell right.
RIGHT.
Okay.
Finish Right.
Finishright.com. And then you'll learn, you'll find out all the information that you need to know. And of course, you can get a hold of Frank through the Saratoga County Veterans Service Agency. You're a veteran, part of family. Just get a hold of Frank, because as he said, he'll sit on the same side of the table that you're sitting on. I just love that phrase.
I do too.
Don't you love that?
And it's perfect.
Well, it's great to see you again, as
Always
always.
good to see
And
you.
thank you,
Thank
Frank,
you guys
for taking the
coming out.
time.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're
My
welcome.
pleasure.
Thank
Good.
you.
Great to see
Thank
you,
you.
Frank.
Yeah.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.